Hi guys, welcome back to my coloring channel. I'm SL for coloring artworks. Um, and this is my first haul video. So actually I've been haven't been coloring lately. So instead I got some new items, some coloring books and some art supplies. So since I started coloring these few months, after a gap of more than 4 years, I told myself try not to get influenced to get more books and art tools, since I have some books that haven't touched, and I've donated some because I got too many after so many years of coloring, and yet here I am. But anyway, this is my first acrylic markers that I got. It's a bit kind of shabby here. Anyway, probably because of uh, the delivery. I think the packaging wasn't good. It was very poor in packaging. But then it's only $5 US, and it's from my local sellers, inline sellers, online sellers. So I tested some. Some are they were okay. Obviously they were okay, but some wasn't doing that well. I think like I think this one, it hasn't been see, after even though shaking it, it still doesn't perform what it's not as okay, it's not as what I imagine the color would look like from the cap here. But anyway, it's only $5 US. Can I complain? No. So I just got it I think about 2 weeks ago. Haven't tested it on coloring books yet. So this is one. And these are the few coloring books that I got recently. And first, these two books, one of the first for the alcohol markers. I got this purposely. And since I haven't tried coloring alcohol markers, so and this I tried this because I'm just curious about using alcohol markers. So this one is my completed pages, one of my completed pages, and I am okay. One of the reason I got the alcohol markers is because I was hoping that to use alcohol markers for kind of quick coloring and stress relief and quick coloring. But I still ponder over it and just go into details. So I will try not to go into more details for my next using alcohol markers, because I want alcohol markers as just using the markers alone. But so far I tried with acrylic markers and alcohols. I'm still okay with acrylics for the highlights. And this one too. This one is from I think this is Coco Bio, and this is Vivi Tinta. Okay. This one, the lines, Coco Bio's ones, the books are thicker. The lines are thicker. So when you use alcohol markers, when it's sort of color with alcohol markers, it doesn't sort of like bleed through it, where it will color out of lines when you use alcohol markers, comparing with using a, coloring on a thin line, where if you color using alcohol markers, it probably will bleed through. Whereas thicker illustrations, less chances of alcohol markers bleeding through, if that makes sense. So this one, it's still a slow process here. I'll eventually get better using just plain alcohol markers and fast. This one still take me more than 5 hours because I nitpick. I like to draw in details and all that. Probably by next one I'll do it a simple one, because I've seen alcohol markers from others. They were very fast and impressive with just using alcohol markers. And this one I added the picket fence for this behind sceneries and some trees and some of these cobble streets. I'm quite happy with this actually, but I hope that I'll do a quicker, a fast kind of coloring just for these alcohol markers. That's why I bought this book because of this. And I got this from also a local sellers, inline sellers. They promoted this book as having this kind of 300 GSM texture kind of pages. Yeah, it has this kind of watercolor feel to it. It's very thick and it has this kind of a grainy texture. And I tried with alcohol markers here, and these are some watercolor marks. So it does blend nicely as watercolors should. It goes well with red on red. What I'm saying. So I got this book because of the I want to learn to color or to color plants and flowers because I'm not good at coloring flowers. So this probably will be like a practice for me using watercolors coloring flowers. And I chose this book because of the illustrations using the lines are thin and light. I'm looking for this kind of light kind of thin drawing lines because I have one book that's from Leila Doli Florabunda, and hers very complicated, but the lines are quite dark. So I'm looking forward to for a lighter finish. I did this whip, which I wasn't that happy. I wasn't happy with what I because I'm not sure why I wasn't happy, but probably because yeah I did one which is not completed yet, but um wasn't that happy with this anyway. So I was hoping with this lighter lines it will look I mean hopefully I'll do well in coloring here. This one I'm not sure who's the author. I just got it online actually, my local seller. No. And the next one I got is this one also from one of those websites that I looked through, and I picked this because of this primary subject. I just love him or her I would say it's her or him. He's a desert fox, and then with his sidekick a cactus. I think that's funny, and I think you will probably seen it flip through online. There are many pretty pages has a flip through. Yeah, they were very charming and cute and very simple, not much detailing. I did completed one page here. I would love to complete here also to color here also. I did one finished. This one. This one is I use watercolor, which I find the texture of this paper, they are not really watercolor friendly, I would say. I mean, you can use watercolor, but probably a dry technique style, not really uh not using a too wet kind of watercolor, because it is sort of like it doesn't swirl as well as like when I the texture doesn't goes well with like when you play with this kind of like watercolor pages. And so it's just as little water as possible when you color this, but I'm pretty happy here. Very cute, right? This desert fox. Now she's a she. I'm looking at her as a she here. This one. And then I got this book from watching, looking for the Bell of Happiness. I think the artist is Mr. Mei Jinsei. Yeah. I saw this from I saw I watched this from Coloring K. Yeah, yeah. She was the one that has a flip through, and I saw her flip through, and I was so in love with the illustrations here. They were gorgeous, and there were a lot of details. Another book that I would want to get is Leon's Journey by Yugisa Kanuka. That would be the one that I want to get. The next book. But this is gorgeous, right? So pretty. I did a test page here actually. Uh, I tried watercolor. It seems that this page, it the watercolor here works better than the other one, the Desert Fox. So it's almost similar like uh romantic country series kind of paper quality, which is watercolor friendly. So, but for this to do this, I think it will be a waste of time, and it takes so much time to do this kind of coloring. Probably what I will do next is just to color the whole floor here, watercolor, and then probably line this using Posca white or something like that. Yeah. Okay, this is one of my favorites here, and I did get Erie's latest book after watching Pretty Pages, her flip through, and the size is just is small, but it's thin. It's thin and it's very light. So I'm not sure whether I like the size of this book. I like the size that's small, but I was hoping that it's thicker, more pictures, so that it feel luxurious. So this is quite light, and I did tests as usual. They were okay with watercolors. And if you were to go through the translation of this, I seen a video from cat coloring. Cat coloring did this kind of interesting translation of this, and it's like when she narrated or when she translated this, it seems to bring the book alive. I mean, it's so interesting. Probably I'll do this for my next. I'll try this or the one with the granny and granddaughter bonding. It's either these two pages I would try the next. So I'm glad I got this. Then I got this from watching Zucchini Kitties video or and coloring chemist. They did a flip through probably more than a year ago, and it was so gorgeous. I saw the video and I was so in love with the book, and I love the illustrations, the artist's way of coloring, and I love that she has references here. So pretty, and I love her coloring choice, that they are all in muted colors. I love muted colors, but I don't know why my colorings are all very bright. I just love this kind of muted colors. So it's so pretty. And this book is a thick cover version. Thick cover version. It's very thick, very thick. So comparing with the 80s latest book, so it's a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller than the eight. Also comparing with, let's say, with Erie's book, the original romantic countries. Uh, so this one is slightly smaller, but and yet is thicker. It's much thicker here. See her romantic country and this book, and her latest. This is her latest. So, and the texture of this, it is thick. It is thicker than Erie's coloring book. Yeah, it's thicker. But then, then I completed this. I tried watercoloring, but the thing is that it doesn't uh it doesn't color as well as what I tried using on let's say romantic countries. What I did here with watercolors, all this, using all watercolors, it it sort of it doesn't it how do I say it, I can't paint with watercolors wet on wet. What I mean is that you have to use a dry brush technique instead. So it's not really watercolor friendly, I would say. Yes, you can use watercolor, but dry method, not the typical watercolor with wet on wet. Not sure why. So probably color pencil would do well here. I'm not sure, but because the artist over here, her colorings are all done in watercolors. And also I like the lines. The drawing lines are quite light. They're not dark. So probably I'll try another page one of these days, because watercolor seems not to be doing okay here. I love this page. I love this page. So this is funny thing is that interesting thing is that when I ordered this from this seller, I got this instead. The difference is that this one is a thin cover. See, comparing this one is a thick cover and this one is a thin cover. I got this from this seller instead. So I messaged him. I told him that he sent the wrong book, and very kind of him, he sent another one, the correct one, and he asked me to keep this one. So I don't know, probably I have this as a spare, but the thing is that the page here, the texture of this paper also is thinner comparing with this. This one is thinner. But then okay, so now I have a spare copy. Yay. Yay. And the last one, this is my, of all the books, the coloring books, my haul, this is my favorite. A reason being because and I watched this through also coloring case video. And when I saw her reviewing this book, and I saw the stunning illustrations and the coloring style of this artist, I want to get this book. I'm not sure how the illustration will look like in person, but I just want to get because of her illustrations. Look here, so gorgeous, right? You see, she has this coloring case showing reviewing this quite detailed, and I love her coloring. I mean, I love her colorings. And the technique she used or he used is probably watercolors. So nice. And so I tried one page, a whip. Oh yeah, I have to show you first how the illustrations is. Some are in this, some are in horizontal, some are in vertical, and it's one-sided. So I tried this whip. I'm glad that we have reference here from this artist here, because I need some reference to see the shadows and the sunlight that here. So the watercolor here is fine, no problem. I quite like how the watercolor feels here. So, but I'm quite into detail when I do this kind of coloring. But I have problem here. I'm not sure whether I'm not sure whether it's AI drawings or something, because it is I'm just confused about this area here. There seems to be another window or door here, but and yet it's over here, and this column here, it doesn't seems to match the other side. So I'm not sure how to color here actually. So hopefully I'll finish this one of my whip that I intend to finish this March one. And another whip that I want to finish is by this one. This is another whip that I want to finish is by this Maria Troller, and she has this. I think this is only one. I'm not sure, which is one-sided illustrations. I was hoping that I was hoping that I can try alcohol markers here. So I did try one using alcohol markers, and I was quite impressed. It seems that alcohol markers do well with this page. They blend smoothly and they don't dry fast, which is good for alcohol markers blending. And you can see I use alcohol markers to try to draw this or color this grain style, wood grain style, and it works. Comparing, I thought that only water-based markers will do well, but it seems that alcohol markers also, you can play with this. So I'm quite happy. This is just alcohol markers only, without any colored pencils, and I'm so happy with this result. Hopefully I can finish this too. One. This one probably will be March to finish, hopefully. And the other two one I hope to do it in April. The other week I want to do in April. Uh, this one. This one is in Prisma colored pencils. So this whip was long overdue, probably about more than 4 or 5 years ago. I couldn't finish this probably because of this. I think the flower here confused me. I do not know how to color these flowers here. Whether I want to put it as if the two flowers incorporate together or it's a separate. I don't know. Probably because I made mistake of coloring extra. I mean, I did some extra coloring here. And too much work probably. I love the way I did my clouds. Hopefully this April, my April project. And another one which I did Hannah Calzon's another whip, which also probably took me this whip was probably more than also 4 or 5 years ago. I couldn't finish this because I was intimidated with the jewels that she's wearing. Uh, it took me so long even to think about to look at it and contemplating whether should I carry on to color. But I have to try this kind of face coloring. I haven't tried with adult face coloring, so this will probably be my April whip to finish. Yeah. So hopefully this too, I'm not gonna do more. And I have only one book of this A Million Cats, my first ever book. So I did a whip long time ago. This probably about 9 years ago, where I my first coloring was quite basic. I thought it was now looking at it, I thought it was quite cute. So I might try to finish this. I might try, hopefully. So that's all, guys. Anyway, hope to see you guys soon and watch my videos. Yeah, thank you.